Hey Mutah, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Okay, nice. How's everything with you, buddy?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Just, came through to the coffee shop, grab a coffee so I can do this interview with you and take it easy. You know?
Hey, that's not bad. I got some caffeine over here as well.
Okay, man. I'm ready whenever you are.
All
Just
right.
tell me how you want to do it.
All right. Perfect. Sounds good. When you were younger, what made you decide to get into music?
Well, when I was younger, what made me decide to get into music? Good question. You know what I mean? Growing up in New Jersey, Irvington, New Jersey, at a young age, I got involved with trying to follow the footsteps of my older brother and my cousin. They was all from the streets. They was all on the block selling drugs and things like that, and I wanted to follow them in their footsteps. And the first time that I ever went outside to sell drugs, one of the first times I ever went outside to sell drugs, man, I got arrested. The first day, you know what I mean, or the first days, you know what I mean. My first run on the block, I got arrested. I was probably like 13 years old at that time. And it was something that, you know what I mean, was like, oh man, how you get locked up on the first day you go out on the block, and other cats in my neighborhood was laughing at me and stuff like that. And I said to myself, man, I need to do something that, put my brothers, my cousins, and people can't do. You know what I mean? Because now it's like a competition. Okay, I came out on the block the first day, got, locked up. You dudes doing your thing, so I'm going to do something new you can't do. So I turned to writing raps. You know what I mean? I started writing raps. Whatever I would see outside in my block and in my neighborhood, I would make a song out of it. Then I would go back outside and I would rap it for the drug dealers and make them pay me. So the first time that I got money, and it probably was, like I said, I was 13 years old, 14 years old. I probably got like 50 cents or $1 every time I spit a rap. I knew that this is something I wanted to continue. I wanted to take it serious because I said, man, one, I felt good expressing myself. You know what I mean? Whatever I was going through, I was putting it on the paper. That was like a form of expression for me. You know what I mean? That was therapy for me. And two, I was getting paid already from locally from my neighborhood. So I said, maybe this can be something big in the future.
And I have to say, man, when a lot of people first heard you actually nationally was on the Me Against the World album.
Yes.
That album actually went on to be, I believe, was platinum. I don't know how many times it went platinum, but I know it went on to be platinum.
Definitely, I think double platinum or something like that. They sold about 2 or 3 million records, and that was the first record that I did with Pac that was released. Before that, we did. A lot of people don't know. Before that, we was called different names. When I came around, when I met Pac and I came around, it was Edie, Castro, and Gaddafi. And I always wanted to be a solo artist. So we did a song that one time together, and Pac was like, man, I like it. I want to put you in a group, and I want to call this group the Young Thugs. So I think even on Me Against the World, it might say Future Young Thugs or Dramacidal. You know what I mean? Featuring Young Thugs and Dramacidal, because we went from Young Thugs and then to Dramacidal. And then last we became Outlawz.
Because I knew you guys were called Dramacidal, but I never knew the Young Thugs thing. I mean, like they always say, you learn something new every day, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, we was Young Thugs, man. So when Pac did that album, Me Against the World, I was able to hop on it because I used to go from New Jersey back and forth. Whenever they come to New York, I would go from Jersey back and forth, and I was in the studio, and he was doing a song, and it just happened. You know what I mean? That was the first time that I was able to listen to myself on the radio, put a CD in, listen to myself, and that was the first time I taste, you know what I mean, that the side of success within the music industry.
So the next question I got is a Pac question, but I only got one in this interview. What's your favorite memory you ever shared with Tupac?
My favorite memory I ever shared with Tupac, man, that's a good question because we had so many. You know what I mean? What can I say my favorite memory is? Man, it's so many, man. It's just hard, you know what I mean, to really sit back and try to think of one, man. But we had so many good memories because a lot of times we was like family. So a lot of times we would just, you know what I mean, be in this house kicking it. You know what I mean? It was some of the dopest days that I can recall. Or when we not in the studio, because a lot of people don't know Pac didn't party like that. He wasn't always into clubs. So if he wasn't in the studio in a movie set, most likely he was at home chilling. So So I used to enjoy that. You know what I mean? We in the living room, we chilling, we clowning each other, we joking. So many great memories, man.
Yeah, sometimes I get people with that question because like you can't just pick one memory. You know what I mean? There's always more than.
It is very difficult. It's very difficult to just try to pinpoint one. You know.
So in 2001, you were in a movie called Thug Life. A lot of people probably haven't seen this movie, but I have. And, you know, I have to ask about it, you know what I mean? I actually just came across this movie myself a couple years ago. I forget what I was looking up, but I was looking you up on Google. Even though I know a whole bunch of stuff about the Outlaws already, I was looking you up. I think it was because I noticed you had a book coming out, but that's later in the interview. So when I found this out, I watched this movie, and I actually got to say, you did very good at this movie, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. But that movie was embarrassing, man, when I look back at it later.
You know what? It's one of those things. You tried it, and I gotta say, you were
true,
man. You know, like
thank you, man.
You're in a movie called Thug Life. What was it like starring in a movie, and what was the atmosphere like on set?
Well, that movie, it was fun, you know what I mean? Because I was able to, you know, I think at that particular, I forgot how I got the phone call where somebody said, you want to be in a movie? I think they probably shot me about $8,000 or something back then. Like, man, we give you $7,000, $8,000. Come do the movie. Come to Houston. We fly you out here, put you in a hotel. So I was like, cool, let's do it. It was the Lady of Rage, Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, and a few other people. It was fun, you know what I mean? Because it was fun, you know what I mean? I was able to escape all that karate crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Because they was trying to get me to be like a karate dude from the hood, but I was like, man, let's try to be sticks to facts as much as we can, man. I said, ain't nobody going around in the hood beating people up with karate, man. So they get shot trying that stuff in the hood. So I was like, man, at least take that out of my part. But it was fun, you know what I mean? I was a young kid, and I really did enjoy it.
I have to say,
I was like 19 years old, probably 19, 20 years old or something like that.
Because I know you looked really young in the movie, but I couldn't picture you doing karate in that movie personally.
Yeah. I'm glad they took that out.
So what made you decide to convert to Islam?
You know, growing up, and my mother and father converted to Islam, but I was raised as a Christian. I was raised with my grandparents who, you know what I mean, did a very good job to the best of their ability to raise me and my cousins and my brothers, man. And I grew up in church, but I got to a point in my life where I used to say, man, I have no religion. I was confused about religion. I didn't really trust religion, so I said, I just believe in God. And I used to think that Muslims killed my parents because the people that killed my mother and father was from the Nation of Islam. You know what I mean? Which is two different belief systems, the Nation of Islam and the religion of Islam. You know what I mean? So I got to a point in my life where I was very unhappy, and it was at the height of my career, my success. Like I was balling. You know what I mean? I had homes, I had houses, cars, jewelry. I had a lot of money in my bank account, but it was the most difficult time of my life. Internally, I was unhappy. You know what I mean? I was very unhappy. I was depressed, and I just knew that it had to be more to life than the way that I was living my life. I didn't just sit here. I couldn't just fathom that, you know, I can be successful in the music industry, the money, the houses, the cars, and now that I got this, I was working so hard to get this. Now I'm happy. Have to be more to life than just this materialistic things. You know what I mean? So I started searching after getting into a fight with my little brother. There was a Muslim brother who broke the fight up, you know, invited me to the masjid, gave me the English translation of Quran and some other literature of Islam, and it was just clear to me, you know what I mean, that this is the religion we need to practice. This is the religion that the creator of the heavens and the earth legislated for us to practice. We only pray to God. We don't pray to no man. We don't pray to no stones, but we believe in all the prophets, Jesus, David, Isaac, Abraham, Muhammad. It doesn't matter your race. You know what I mean? You go to a mosque, you're going to be praying next to a person that's white, Arab, Asian, Chinese, that Muslims from all walks of life, all races. And there's no racism in the religion of Islam. If you practice it correctly, it'll erase racism. You know what I mean? It's one of the ways of life that, man, it covers all aspects of life perfectly. It has an answer for everything. Thank God, you know?
So was it a hard transition when you converted to Islam and when you moved to Saudi Arabia?
It definitely was a hard transition because you saw a lifestyle that I for majority part of my life, I thought I was living a correct lifestyle. You know what I mean? The way that I was living, even though it was like an animal. But you know, when we come from the hood and we come from the ghetto, and this is all we know, we think that this is just a natural, normal way of life. You know what I mean? Doing what we're doing by drinking and getting high and killing each other, don't mind harming each other, destroying ourselves, destroying everyone else. We never really sat back and say, man, is there any accountability for the way that I'm living my life? The only accountability we was trying to run away from is the police. We ain't getting caught by the police. We gonna do whatever we had to do. But so it was a hard transition. You know what I mean? And nothing. And the religion of Islam teaches you that when you accept this religion, you're not going to change overnight. It's one of them things that you can continue to learn, study, and grow until you die, until you're in your grave. You know what I mean? As a Muslim for now, 16, 17 years old, I'm still learning new things about this religion, because it's not a religion that you can say, okay, I have all the knowledge, now I'm finished. No, you can continue to learn until you're in your grave. You know what I mean?
Honestly, that's honestly really good. I always heard when people transition like that, it's also very, very hard for them. And I do have to say, before we get off the topic of Islam and your religion, I want to say I'm really glad that you turned your life around a complete 180.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Your story can help so many people when they feel like they're not going to go anywhere in life. And you actually can prove to everybody else that you can
appreciate that.
Change for the better, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, bro.
You're most certainly welcome. So at the beginning of the interview, you were talking about how you were at the coffee shop. What made you decide to start up Smokey Q and the MW Caf?
When Smokey Bears Q came in, I have a minor, share with Smokey. He came together with some friends of mine from Dallas, Texas, a brother named Artan, and he contacted me. And he was like, you know what? He had a few businesses in America, and one of them was an Italian restaurant that he wanted to close down. And he was like, I want to do business in Saudi Arabia, move over there, get my kids and family over there, something different in life. I'm thinking about bringing an Italian restaurant out there. What do you think? I was like, nah, man, don't do no Italian restaurant, because there's many Italian restaurants in Saudi Arabia. I said, you know what, man? Bring something from the South, like a Southern American style restaurant, man. Something that homegrown down Southern food, hospitality food. You know what I mean? And he's like, okay, what about brisket? I said, I heard of brisket, but I never had it before. I said, that might be something that I don't think they have out here that might work. So that following summer, I went to his crib down in Texas, and he smoked some brisket for me. And when I tried it, I said, you know what, man, this going to make a killing if you bring this to Saudi Arabia, God willing. So that's how it came apart. It came together, you know what I mean? That's how it came together. I contacted some friends out here in Saudi. A good friend of mine named Saud. I told him about the idea. Me and another mutual friend told him about the idea. And he was like, man, if it's good, me and my family will invest. And it just came together like that, man. Just put two good groups of people together, and they decided to, move forward with the plan.
I know. How did you get the MW Cafe?
The MW Cafe was another thing, you know what I mean? I would say for maybe the last, about 15 years ago, I started to research the coffee business. I started to realize that the coffee industry is a huge industry. Especially in the USA, the only beverage drunk more than coffee is water. And when I started seeing these things, the statistics of coffee, the business side of it, not only the culture side of it, I got intrigued by this, and I wanted to learn more about it. And so when I first moved to Saudi Arabia, I teamed up with some young Saudi cats, and they had a coffee shop. I teamed up with them. I came in as a small investor, and about 2 years later, we had, from some small minor differences, we decided to sell the coffee shop. But the taste of running a coffee business, it already affected me in a positive way, and I wanted to continue. So I got a call from a friend of mine. He was like, look, man, you was from Oman, Malik and Tariq. Malik is from Oman, Tariq is from India, live in Oman. And they hit me up, and they was like, look, man, you was doing good in the business, the coffee business. I have an idea. Why don't you do your own coffee brand? why don't you brand your own business and this and this and that, and we'll help you come up with everything from the logo, from everything, and the website. I said, okay, let me see what you're working with. And it was just a brilliant idea. You know what I mean? So once again, these ideas, I don't take I won't put solely on myself. It was just being with good people with good ideas and brainstorming with people, and you know what I mean. And I just was able to move forward with it. So MW Cafe, you know, thank God we opened one, and we had one that we opened in Ras Al Khaimah, the United Arab Emirates. We closed that down, but we had a good 2-year run with a friend of mine named Anthony, a business partner of mine from Amsterdam named Anthony, and now we're going to open up in September, God willing, here in Riyadh. You know, it's better that I'm in Riyadh. I'm here. I can run everything. So I'm looking forward to open that up. So the MW stand for Mutah Wasim, which is my first two initials, my first and my middle initial.
It's actually a great idea. Well, I personally think you're going to make a killing on that. You should try and bring one to Canada. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, you never know, man. Maybe we'll bring one together, me and you, in the future. You never know.
That's what's up, man. We can actually show Tim Hortons what real coffee is.
Yeah, for real. Real talk.
A few months ago on your Instagram, you mentioned a book you were writing called "Life Is Raw: The Story of a Reformed Outlaw." How is that book coming along, and is there a set release date for it yet?
Yeah, that book is coming along good. We taking our time. My man Suleiman Jenkins is writing it for me. We don't have a release date because, you know, like you said, you seen that I had a book out before that was on Amazon, but that book was rushed. You know, one of the guys who wrote the book for me, we didn't really go into no details. He pretty much rushed that book. So I would say maybe a good 60-70% of that book didn't really touch up on my life the way I wanted to. But it was one of them things that I was like, you know what, he finished it. This is his writing style. Let me just go ahead and put it. But when I was talking to my man Suleiman, he's a great writer, we decided to do it in a way where I said, you know what, if I do this book, it might be, you know, the last about my life, because I want to make it so, you know, detailed and so, you know, go into explanation with certain things and really give the readers a really understanding of what we went through and what I went through, not only in the Outlaws or with Pac, but before growing up in the street. Because I come from a family of I come from a family. I was one of them rappers who can say that I was really in the streets out there. You understand? I was really on the block. I was really on the streets. I really went through situations where bullets was passing by my head and places where people was getting shot in front of me. And I lived that life, so I seen the rawness of the streets. I was able to get into the music industry and saw the rawness of the industry. And then after that, I was able to leave it by the permission of Allah, the permission of God, and able to see that there's a better way of life. You know what I mean? So I'm able to hit it from them three angles. Inshallah, God willing.
And I have to say, the first book you mentioned where you said it was rushed, I personally have a copy of that book, and I really enjoyed it. And I am looking forward to your new book that's coming out. When I saw that, I was most like, yep, I need to buy it.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
So on to the last
Appreciate
question.
it, man.
I want to say this to listeners already. I've watched the documentary about a good 5 times. You all need to get out and check this out. But you have a documentary available now called Napoleon, The Life of an Outlaw. Can you tell us how that came to be and where we can get a copy and how much it costs?
Well, this documentary, man, it was in it fought some battles because we finished the documentary a few years back, but we never really had the, you know what I mean, the platform to release it because we were trying to do it independent. And even when we had some deals that came on the table, like we had a couple, you know what I mean, good deals that came on the table, but it kind of pretty much would have led to me compromising. What it was trying to get me to compromise my belief system. So a lot of times I had to just, you know what I mean, say, no, I can't do it. So it took us some time, you know what I mean? The documentary is about my life called Napoleon, Life of an Outlaw. I touch up on pretty much, you know, some things that I went through growing up in New Jersey, you know, my introduction to meeting Tupac and the Outlawz. We touch upon that, and we go to a little bit of my life after I left the music industry, but not too much, you know what I mean? That's all. We're going to cover that in the book. Right now, we just closed, we did a distribution deal with Saphir Entertainment, which is based in Los Angeles. Steve Lobel, who's my old manager, put us in contact with the guy, Jared, and he decided, you know what I mean, to help us, put it out there. So right now it's on Amazon Prime. You can rent it on Amazon Prime, and I believe if you have an account on Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. You can also rent it right now on Google Play. I think maybe like $1.99. You can rent it, maybe $7.99. You can purchase it, and it will be on iTunes soon, God willing, and other digital platforms. So, you know what I mean. I'm just happy that we finally was able to put it out there, because it was we tried for some years, and we got a lot of support. Like Mike Epps is one of the executive producers. We got the Outlaws. We got you know what I mean. We got interviews with Fatal, Big Sight, Nobe, Edie, the rest of the Outlaws. Loon, somebody from Bad Boy Records, because he also converted to Islam. So we got him in the documentary speaking about, how he looked at the whole East Coast, West Coast, or the beef between like Bad Boy and Death Row, or Pac and Biggie. So from another angle, he was able to tell his side of the story. So it was good, you know what I mean? Hopefully people enjoy it.
I got to say I enjoyed it, and I was actually really surprised when I saw Big Psych. It was actually good to hear his voice again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I miss Big Psych, man. That's my man.
I gotta say rest in peace to him. But Mutah, I gotta say, I know you're a busy man. I want to say thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio. But before I let you go, I do want to say
thank you, man.
And I want to say on behalf on me and the rest of the fans, because I've been getting a lot of good feedback since I said I'm interviewing you. Thank you so much for everything you have done for us fans. You helped us through a lot of stuff in and outside the music industry. So from me, on behalf of myself,
thank you.
I know you helped me out a lot, and throughout all your fans, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
Let me know when you're going to air. Was it live, or you going to air it later?
I'm going to be airing this later, actually. So October 28th. If you want to, right after we commence this interview, I'll send you the poster over.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Thanks a lot, bro. You take it easy.
You as well, man. Have yourself a great
Okay.
great night.
Okay, you too. Thanks. Peace.